Marlins, serving 185 destinations worldwide. The Marlins beat the Braves in 11, 4-3. No home runs for the Braves in that game. The Reds are leading the Pirates 4-2. Orlando Mercedes homer. He's been hot lately. The Cubs beat the Astros by a score of 3-2. A homer for Sammy Sosa. Later starts just about getting underway. Phillies at the Dodgers. It'll be David West against Kevin Gross. Bobby Jones pitches against Bill Kruger for the Padres. And the Expos are at the Giants. That would be Pedro Martinez against John Burkett. And those are your National League scores, brought to you by Continental Airlines. So we head on to inning number 7 here. The Rockies have the top of the order. The Cardinals have a new pitcher, and Charlie's here to tell you all about it.
And the new pitcher is Frank Cimorelli. He is a right-hander, recall from Louisville. That's their AAA ball club prior to tonight's game. In fact, he was called up yesterday in reality, wasn't he, and just couldn't get here in time for that ball game. He was up with the Cards earlier this year. He made 4 relief appearances, 5 in the 3rd inning. He allowed 7 runs on 12 hits. He walked 5, no strikeouts. He then was sent back down. His record was 4-1 in 30 games at Louisville and an ERA of 3.07. And he will face Walt Weiss. This is his first year in the bigs. And that is ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count to Walt. He's wearing uniform number 54. And he misses again. He is 6 feet even, 175 pounder. 25 years old. He was born in Poughkeepsie, New York. He was a 37th round selection of the Cardinals. There's a strike. In the June free agent draft of 1989. He attended Dominican College for a couple of years. And here is a ground ball to second. And Walt Weiss is out of there. So we have 1 away here in the top of the 7th. The Rockies have 4 runs on 7 hits as they try to battle back from that disastrous bottom of the 1st when the Cardinals scored 5, and they did it in a grandiose manner. The Cardinals now with 7 runs on 11 hits. So the Rockies are down by 3. But it was Ozzie Smith with a single, Greg Jeffries with a 2-run home run, Ray Langford with a triple, Todd Zeile with a double, followed by Mark Whitten in the 2-run home run, and suddenly it was a 5-0 ball game. And here is Howard Johnson. Ojo, the last time up, a 2-run home run. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game, and there's no question at least part of his game is back, and that is the home run stroke. And there was the stroke again. This time he fouls it back. But he'll sit on that fastball, and if he can find it, it's gone.
Dangerous spot behind the plate tonight. Rapuano got one under the mass. McGriff just had his cage rattled. It's a wonder they don't get a little punchy.
Rick Sutcliffe, the starter, threw a total of 105 pitches, of which 62 were strikes. And here's a fly ball in shallow left, and Gilkey will come in. And we have 2 away. We're in the top of the 7th. The Cardinals won last night 9-7. And they're leading in this one 7-4. And with 2 down, here's Dante Bichette. Bichette with a bunt single in the ball game. He's 1 for 3. And that bunt single, the only hit that he has in the series. And there's a strike. Dante aboard when Charlie Hayes hit the 2-run home run. And he waves at this one. Now, this is the first time that the ball club has faced Cimorelli. What does that do to as far as when you're a hitter and you've never seen a youngster that's brought up?
Well, you go and see if anybody's got a scouting report on him. Larry Bernard was talking to Don Baylor just before the game and said the report they had about an 87-mile-an-hour sinking fastball and a slider.
How much can you tell, if you're a hitter, how much can you tell from the report until you really go out and look at it?
Well, I mean, unless a guy has an exceptional pitch, most guys that have sinkers, most times sinkers look pretty much alike, and some of the sliders do, unless it's an exceptional pitch.
And he strikes him out. So Cimorelli comes in and is 3 up and 3 down, middle of the 7th, and the Cardinals lead at 7-4.
These guys are good.
Who are you calling guys?
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals. Ma'am?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
The people who build Dodge Ram have a saying, think big. After all, just check out Ram's big list of features, like a driver's side airbag, rear anti-lock brakes, tinted glass, and more. Plus, Ram's big on power, thanks to a 175 horsepower Magnum V6. Fortunately, the people who sell Dodge Ram also have a saying, think small. Check out Motor Trend's 94 Truck of the Year at your Dodge dealer today.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. More top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Available at these locations.
American League scores brought to you by the Colorado Lottery. Jose Canseco is 23rd. Kirk Gibson his 14th in a losing cause. First game of the doubleheader, no score in the second inning. The A's continue hot. That's 8 in a row, and they've won 16 of 20. Mariners ahead of the Yankees 4-3. The Indians over the Twins 6-1 a final, and the Orioles double up the Angels 14-7.
Right here in the bottom of the seventh, top of the order for the Cardinals, Bernard Gilkey to lead it off. He is 0 for 3 in the ballgame. And as you take a quick check, he is outside of the pitcher spot. He's the only 0-fer for the Cardinals. Everybody else has had some kind of a hit, and mostly it's been for extra bases tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And Willie Blair misses here. And the count 2 balls and a strike. We've had a pitching change for tomorrow night. Here's a ground ball to Walt White. And the cat digs it out, and we've got 1 away. But before we get to that, let's finish out the scores. In the 8th, the White Sox leading the Brewers 8-0. Also in the 8th, the Blue Jays and the Royals are tied at 3. And so that does wrap up the scores. The score here, by the way, Cardinals 7. They have 7 runs on 11 hits, and the Rockies 4. 7-4 ball game. And here is Ozzie Smith. And here is the drive into left center, and Ojo comes in, takes it on the hop. And Ozzie is aboard for the 2nd time in the ballgame. You notice something as you take a look at the replay of Howard Johnson. He makes an AstroTurf play. And you don't see this at Mile High Stadium. And that is because when the ball hits the turf, watch how it will bounce, and watch what he then does with his body. Is he has to, he goes up with it. And you will see all of the outfielders doing that on AstroTurf. Because if you don't, that sucker can get over your head in a hurry. And here's Greg Jeffries. Jeffries has a pair of home runs tonight. He is 3 for 3. He has a 2-run home run. That was in the bottom of the 1st. A solo home run. That was leading off the 5th. And in between in the 3rd, well, he walked and went to 2nd on a wild pitch, was left stranded at 3rd. So there's no question that he has certainly been involved. And if you'll take a look at the back of his right heel, you can see the special shoe that he is wearing. Dave talked earlier about the fact that he has the 6 stitches in the, and there you see it. So it's kind of, it's loose, has some padding, and he has a shoestring in the back as well as in the front. And a turn and a throw to first. Tomorrow night, the change has been the Cardinals have changed their pitchers from Saturday and Sunday. Is that Bob Tewksbury was scheduled to go Sunday afternoon, but he is going to go tomorrow night. Here is the pitch, and a base hit in the right. And Ozzie will stop at 2nd. Jeffries is aboard at 1st. And so tomorrow it'll be Tewksbury against David Need, and then Sunday afternoon on the getaway day, Omar Oliveras, Lance Painter will be going for the Rockies, and the ball club will go on to Chicago for that great 4th of July doubleheader. Spend the 4th of July with us. You know, a lot of you will be outside. You know, take your portable television with you. And then when you go to the lake or the mountains or you're outdoors or sharing with your family, you know, include us, because we want to be a part of your 4th of July celebration. And the hitter is Ray Langford. We have one down, and this is drilled deep, and it is out of here for another home run for the Cardinals. That is their 5th home run tonight, and this one is a 3-run shot. So just when it looked as if the Rockies were going to get back in it, Langford nails his 16th home run. His RBI total is now 40. And he has half of the cycle in the hardest half. He's got the triple in the home run, but he may be running out of time. We're in the 7th. Here's Todd Zeile. And this is a fly ball that should have been fouled. And it does. So the Cardinals now lead 10-4. They have 10 runs on 14 hits, and the Rockies 4 runs on 7 hits. And a ball and a strike to Todd Zeile. Zeile is 2 for 3. He has a single, a double, an RBI, and he has scored a run. He was involved in that massive outburst in the bottom of the 1st, and that's when he got the double and the RBI. For the Cardinals, in the history, is that right? No. This year. All right. No, I didn't think so. It's the most home runs in a ball game this year. And they're not through yet. That's the signal that we get from the Cardinal fans here. This was not known. This is amazing. Here's the pitch. And this one is drilled deep. Kingery is going to chase it, and he makes the play. Mike Kingery runs it down. Let's take another look at that catch. As Kingery and the left-hander has to backhand it. Now in the background, you're going to pick up some fireworks. What is going on? And here's the fireworks defensively for the Rockies. The opening ceremony of the Olympic Festival taking place at the Arch. Flojo, by the way, is the featured speaker. Is a ground ball. And the race to first, and not in time. Not in time. And Whitten is aboard. And we'll take another look. And the cat made a decision, and he made the wrong decision, and the umpire makes the right call. Because Willie Blair, Willie pulled up as you saw. But the cat thought that he could make it, and bang, bang, he does not. And a good call by Frank Pulley, who is the umpire at first. And the hitter is Geronimo Pena, now with 2 outs. And a runner aboard. And he takes a pitch that's low. Pena with a solo home run. And he also has a single. And he is 2 for 3. So he is 3 for 5 in the series with a pair of home runs. And again, in the background, you hear the explosions. That's the fireworks from the opening ceremony for the Olympic Festival. 27 venues all over the St. Louis area. They're very excited about this program here. And a base hit up the middle as Liriano dives for it and cannot come up with it. And Kingery's throw comes into second, and the Cardinals have runners at the corners. So it looked for a moment as if the Rockies were going to be out of the inning with only the 3-run home run doing the damage by Langford. But when the cat made the decision to go for the unassisted out and then just barely missed it, we have action in the bullpen. Bruce Walton, the right-hander who is standing there. And the hitter is the catcher, Terry McGriff. McGriff has a double. He is 1 for 3 in the ballgame, hitting .235, 2 for 6 in the series. So the struggle continues tonight for the Rockies as they trail by 6, 10-4. And there's a strike. And with the runs, so you want to say 10-4 and we're out of here. But they're not.
Rockies did not pick a good time. Every team's going to get hot for a while with the bats. Cardinals had scored 17 runs in the 2 games before the Rockies came in, and they've continued the onslaught.
And that is strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes again. McGriff hitting .235. He has struck out only 9 times and walked 12. We mentioned earlier in the telecast, he has played maybe a third, a little more than a third. And that's about it. This one is fouled back just to our left and below.
You were leaning forward.
I was leaning away.
You were getting...
I have no desire to sacrifice my body for a for a souvenir that I can go down and buy at the store.
Well, I got to make one play this year just to show you the hands are still there.
The hands are still there. All right.
But last night it was.
Last night was not the night. You had to pick your spots.
Well, I was going to have to catch it with the hand that had the big ring on it.
Oh, don't want to do that. And there is the finale. And the crowd here oohing and ahhing also, enjoying the opening ceremony of the Olympic Festival. To all of our friends from the Olympic Committee in Colorado Springs, they're in town here. And here's the base hit up the middle, another run was scored. Kingery comes up and the throw comes into second. Another run is in and runners remain at the corner. And the Cardinals lead at 11-4. So Frank Cimorelli is going to hit for himself, and why not? They just wanted to finish out the ballgame. And the pitch is high. We'll take a quick look at the stats. This may be his first major league at bat. That is our guess. It's a high chopper off of the plate. And Liriano will throw him out. So that finally retires the side as the Cardinals bat around. They send 9 to the plate, and they lead it 11-4. Back in a moment.
Coming up at 10 on Eyewitness News, day 2 of O.J. Simpson's preliminary hearing, including the events leading up to the murders and the discovery of the 2 victims. Back home, wildfires continue to burn out of control in several parts of Colorado. We'll have the very latest on firefighting efforts, plus the fire danger for the holiday weekend. Speaking of which, Mike Daniels will spell out just how hot it's going to get over the weekend. And tonight in sports, more on the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. We hope you join us then.
We created a new automotive category. Brought the American Roadster back up to speed. And reshaped the 4-door sedan. You could say we've changed all the rules. Makes you wonder what we'll think of next. The new Dodge.
Don't buy them at a garage sale. Don't buy them at a flea market. Don't buy your video games anywhere but Starlight Video. Summer's here. Now you've got time to play all day and all night. Go ahead, stock up, because Starlight Video has the absolutely lowest prices in town on the video games you've been wanting to get your hands on. And don't forget about our rent-to-own game decks, TVs, VCRs, and stereos. You can play more because everything costs less at the place that puts more video fun in your life, Starlight Video.
Information and value are keywords in the 90s. There's a unique TV program and consumer hotline that will bring you both. This free service will profile some of the top businesses in Southern Colorado with special exclusive bonuses that you simply won't want to miss.
Coors, the official beer of the Rockies, presents the stars of baseball.
Well, one of the most beloved players of all time, Stan Musial, began and finished his career here with the St. Louis Cardinals. 3-time MVP, 7-time batting champion, all-time Cardinal leader in hits, games, runs, RBIs, home runs, and a statue of Stan outside the stadium.
And a world-class harmonica player.
You bet.
And he loves to play the harmonica, always has it with him, always in his pocket. He'll take requests. I think we can stop him on the street corner and he would play for us. Yeah, there's some Rockies fans here celebrating.
All right, gang.
You enjoy a night at the ballpark regardless of where you are. Okay, here we go. Top of the 8th inning. Cardinals are out in front by a score of 11-4. Stan Royer is now at first in a defensive change for the Cardinals. That is because Jeffries, we talked about the stitches in the heel and the problem that he has. That just give him a bit of rest. And here's Andre Scalaraga to lead it off, and that is strike one. The Cat is 0 for 3 in the ballgame. He's got that 7-game hitting streak on the line right now. And he is a little late, and that is strike two.
Charlie, going back over the last 7 games, and this being the 7th, the Rocky staff has allowed 101 hits. That's an average of better than 14 a game. So wheels have come off for the pitchers.
And this one is in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Galarraga bounced out in the first and in the 4th, and he lined out in the 5th. And the 1-2 pitch. And here is a high chopper to Ozzie, and he pulls it down and throws it out. So Galarraga is now 0 for 4. And from time to time we talk about the ball club and the players giving back to the community, and Darren Holmes donates time to the Rocky Mountain Arthritis Foundation and all importantly to the Children's Hospital. And they may, he may want to visit the hospital and have him check out that bite that he got in that fight last night. All right, here's Charlie Hayes. And sometimes ball players act like children, so I mean it all fits in.
You bet.
Okay. And so do announcers. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Charlie. Charlie is 2 for 3. Remember last night he was 0 for 4 and he struck out 3 times. Well, he's got a 2-run home run in this ball game, his 8th of the year. And there's a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Picked up a couple of RBIs. He now has 37 on the year. And he also added a single in the 6th. And he pulls this one foul. We're in the top of the 8th. Don't forget, we'll be back again tomorrow night. We'll be on the air a little earlier. Our broadcast time will be 6 o'clock Rockies time. And then we'll wind it up on Sunday afternoon in the heat of St. Louis. And here's the ground ball to short, and Ozzie circles. He's going to bounce it to first, and not in time. So Charlie Hayes beats it out for the base hit.
Well, for all the wizardry of Ozzie Smith, and probably the greatest athlete to ever play shortstop, Ozzie has never had a strong arm. That was pretty close.
Closer than I thought.
And he's had to learn to throw on the run, do everything to try to compensate for not having that strong arm. And the throw...
Glove bag. Ooh, bang, bang either way.
Very close.
Here's Mike Kingery. And that is ball 1. Kingery is 1 for 3, but not only that. He had that great running grab in deep center field. And he just continues to impress. There's a strike. I was talking about that with Walt Weiss before the ballgame, and Walt said he always has been able to hit. Said when Walt was with Oakland, Kingery was with their AAA ball club, and he was hitting the ball everywhere and all the time, but he never did get the call up, and he never could understand why he didn't get the call up.
Well, he stuck with it, and it's paid off for him.
Yes. And this one is sliced foul. We heard some news a little while ago, but we wanted to double check the wire service, and that is Houston Astros general manager Bob Watson will undergo surgery to remove a cancerous prostate gland on Wednesday, and that surgery is going to be done here in St. Louis. And the pitch is outside. And it is a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Kingery. Kingery, interestingly enough, has struck out 17 times, but he has also walked 17 times. With the runner going, it's fouled away. So with 1 away and a full count, Charlie Hayes was going, and now, of course, he'll come back. In the bottom of the 8th, just like the bottom of the 7th, the Cardinals will have the top of the order. And here's the pitch. And he pops this one up in foul territory. McGriff comes back and makes the play. So we have 2 away here in the top of the 8th, and that will bring up the catcher, Joe Girardi. Don Baylor working again tonight with a short bench. He used Vanderwall and then scratched him, replaced him with Danny Schaefer as a pinch hitter. He has Eric Young and Vinny Castilla. EY, of course, he's still hurting. I mean, the neck still hurts and the back still bothers him. And this one is lined into right field, and Charlie Hayes will head for third, and Zimmer takes a look. He's going to hold him there. And Girardi has his second hit of the ballgame, a double down the line.
Well, we mentioned last night, great third base coaches have to have the guts of a riverboat gambler, but you also have to know when to fold them. You know when to hold them and when to fold them, and Zim knew when to hold his man. And I told Zim that before the game, and he said, yeah, amazing you should mention that. He said, when we landed Wednesday night, I went out on one of the riverboats. They have gambling casinos here in St. Louis, and when the club landed, he went right down to the landing and got on one. They have 2-hour cruises here.
The Phillies and the Dodgers, no score. That ball game is in the 4th. And here's Nelson Liriano. Here the Cardinals are in front of the Rockies by a score of 11-4. St. Louis with 17 hits in the ball game. The Rockies have 9 hits. And here's a ground ball to first, and Royer to the pitcher covering, and he is there. So here in the top of the 8th, the Rockies will strand 2. Cardinals lead it 11-4.
Sure running parts, motor gunning parts, fuel pumping, road bumping, brake stomping parts. Western Auto's no stranger to these parts.
Western Auto now has parts for nearly every car on the road today. Serious parts at serious savings. Hey, we know what you want.
Now, Raymo brake shoes or pads start at just $11.99. Ray Bestos, the best in brakes.
Western Auto's no stranger to these parts.
For tips on how to save water throughout your home and yard, call 636-0660. And hey, don't waste water.
Baseball apple pie in the All-American Jeep.
In a Colorado Springs Jeep Eagle, we're your home base for the All-American Jeep sale. That means Southern Colorado's best prices on America's favorite 4x4. Cherokees as low as $16,995, plus the all-new LH, Eagle Vision, and Summit Coupes. Even Major League sale prices on the all-new Grand Cherokees in stock. Easy financing for everyone, all credit apps accepted. See us now and drive one out of the park. Don't miss the All-American Jeep sale, because nobody strikes out at Colorado Springs Jeep Eagle, 1250 South Nevada.
Welcome back. Tonight's telecast presented solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies Baseball Club Incorporated is strictly prohibited. Bottom of the 8th and the top of the order for the St. Louis Cardinals. And Bruce Walton is on the mound. He worked in both games since having his contract purchased between games of a doubleheader on Tuesday. On Wednesday at home against San Diego, he's roughed up for 4 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks in an inning of work. A non-roster invitee to spring training with the Rockies, and he has been working in Colorado Springs until his purchase on Tuesday.
Well, Don, the look kind of tells it all. Not only is he strapped with his bullpen, but he's already used 2 of his 4 extra men, has to save somebody to pinch hit, and Ewy's not feeling well. This is the kind of game where he might like to rest a Galarraga or a Bichette or somebody like that in the heat, kind of, you know, fold in the cards on this one tonight, but he can't even do that. He doesn't have anybody he can put out there.
And the hitter is Bernard Gilkey. And the breaking pitch is fouled down. Gilkey is 0 for 4. Now Ozzie Smith has a couple of hits, and Jeffries has 4 hits, including 2 home runs. Langford has a home run and a triple. Zeal has a couple of hits, including a double. Here's the pitch. And Whitten has a home run and a single, and Vania has a home run and a couple of singles, and McGriff has a single and a double. And Gilkey is Zipperino. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has bounced out twice, he has popped up once, and he has struck out. And he's now hitting .255. He is 1 for 9 in the series. And he pops this one up. The cat goes over and makes the play. Tonight's ball game brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood age for that fresh, distinctive taste. Crisp, clean, classic Bud.
Charlie, in the old days, I mean, you used to have at least 1 doubleheader a week, but sometimes you had a couple of off days. But I tell you, with the Rockies having 2 doubleheaders in less than a week, it's put a strain on everything.
And the hitter is Ozzie Smith. Ozzie 2 for 4, 2 singles, and he has scored twice. He now has scored 30 runs this year. And the pitch is inside, and the count is 2-0. He struck out 1 time in the ballgame. That is only the 17th time that he has struck out this year. And he slices this one down the line, and Hojo is going to chase it and make a running grab in fair territory. And we've got 2 away.
You know, quiet as it's kept, Hojo has really acquitted himself well in left field this year. I mean, he's had to play so many different positions in his career, but he appears to be as comfortable there as I've seen him anywhere. I mean, he never looked real comfortable at third or short. He's played center field. He admitted he didn't like that, but he seems to be adapting to left field very well.
And the hitter will be the first baseman, Stan Royer. Royer coming on as a replacement for Greg Jeffrey, simply to rest that injured foot that he had. He was a bench hitter last night and had a double. The attendance tonight, 25,284, 25284, and a season high 17 hits for the Cardinals. And that is strike 2. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and we have 2 away. The top of the 9th, it'll be a bench hitter, and then the top of the order for the Rockies. And Walton kicks and deals, and he just misses.
Mike Harkey throwing in the pen. They kept him back, and he didn't throw before the game tonight. This was his normal throw day in case they needed him. They won't need him, so he's getting his throwing in now.
And a ground ball is going to be fouled.
I say they won't need him. They won't need him unless the Rockies can rally for at least 7 in the 9th.
And if they do, they will need it.
Yeah, 2 teams have done that this year. We're not trying to create any false hope, but the Atlanta Braves were trailing the Phillies 8-1 going to the 9th inning. They came back and won that game, and the California Angels were behind the Toronto Blue Jays 12-5 going to the 9th inning, and they came back and won that ballgame.
Royer on the year hitting only 167. And here's a 2-hopper to Walt White, and he throws him out. So 3 up and 3 down here in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the 9th. The Cardinals lead at 11-4.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's wrestle!
Hi, Rick. Hey, Brian. How the wife and kids? How's your mom? Good. She says hi. Good.
And the winner of tonight's match is Ice Cold Bud Light. Bud Light!
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The people who build Dodge Ram have a saying, think big. After all, just check out Ram's big list of features, like a driver's side airbag, rear anti-lock brakes, tinted glass, and more. Plus, Ram's big on power, thanks to a 175 horsepower Magnum V6. Fortunately, the people who sell Dodge Ram also have a say, think small. Check out Motor Trend's 94 Truck of the Year at your Dodge dealer today.
Making it to the pros takes a certain level of excellence, the experience to get the job done right, and a reputation for quality. Like top quality belts from Gates, the one thing people overlook most on their cars is the belts. Remember to have your belts checked regularly and insist on quality Gates belts from CarQuest. So for the best possible performance, install what the pros install. CarQuest. Welcome to the pros.
Did You Know is presented by the three divisions of the Chrysler Corporation. Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep Eagle.
How about this? Stosh. Dan Musial holds the Cardinal record for the most home runs in a season by a right fielder, a left fielder, and a center fielder. And you know something else? He never led the National League in home runs.
Well, he was
the only thing he didn't do.
He was too busy changing positions.
He hit 475, but never led the league. He led the league in hitting 7 times.
And speaking of hitting, here's Vinny Castilla to lead it off top of the ninth. And the ball club trails 11-4, and he fouls the first pitch back.
Cimorelli in line for a save. He will work 3 innings if he completes this inning and save it for Rick Sutcliffe.
Sutcliffe went 5 1/3 through 105 pitches, of which 62 were strikes. Mike Perez came in, faced one batter. Rob Murphy faced one. And since then, it's been Frank Cimorelli.
Marvin got a wake-up call. Got a bouncer over there. Marvin rubbing up the baseball.
We told Marvin last night that he couldn't afford in a situation with the fight to be thrown out because as short as the ball club is, in a close ball game, they might need his bat late in the 9th or the 10th.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but as I was talking to Don Baylor, we know that Lightning's not going to strike twice in the same season.
And it is inside, and it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. What did you say about Marvin's hitting? That if it was water, he couldn't fall out of the boat?
I said if the boat capsized, he wouldn't hit water.
And this one is popped up, and Ozzie is there.
Pretty good lesson for you youngsters out there. The greatest shortstop maybe ever catches with 2 hands. Forget the hot dogs that catch with 1 hand. Watch what Ozzie Smith does.
All right, 1 away, and here's Walt Weiss. And take another look at Ozzie Smith.
Always has played the game with 2 hands, the way the game is supposed to be played. So does Walt Weiss.
And speaking of Walt Weiss, he is now the hitter, and he is a big fan of Ozzie Smith. He says he watches him take infield when he's sitting on the bench. And his ball club is hitting, and Ozzie is out there. He watches what he does, the way he positions himself, the way he sets himself up. He said you can learn a lot from watching the best. And that catches the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Walt Weiss. Walt is 1 for 3 in the ball game. He was on a walk and was aboard when Howard Johnson hit the 2-run home run. It looked as if the Colorado Rockies were going to get back in the ball game. But every time that they would get close, here's the 2-1 pitch. The Cardinals didn't just get it back in, they exploded again. And the big explosion, of course, was the 4-run explosion in the bottom of the 7th. Langford with a 3-run home run. Whitten with a single, Pena with a single, and McGriff with the RBI. And Weiss is aboard.
Well, if the Cardinals had a kangaroo court, Cimorelli would just be fined there for walking the batter with a 7-run lead.
And here is the home run hitting Howard Johnson. Hojo 1 for 4 in the ballgame. So he is now 2 for 8 in the series, and both of his hits have been home runs. Likes to hit in this ballpark, and this is not known as a hitter's ballpark.
No, fences have come in a little bit over the years, but he's hit 14 career homers here.
And this one is going to get away from McGriff. And Weiss is going to head for third, and he'll get there.
One of the best base runners in baseball, Walt Weiss. Maybe not the speediest, but he always knows when to take the extra base. Very rarely ever makes a base running error. He knew that he saw over the corner of his shoulder McGriff couldn't find the ball. He knew he could easily make third base.
And it is a wild pitch, chives to Cimorelli. And here's what happened.
Now, Weiss is going to second. He knows McGriff is all turned around. And right now, Walt goes, I'm going to third. Cimorelli finally has to point to where the ball is.
And the 1-0 pitch to Hojo. And it's a deep fly ball. No, it's shallow. I thought it was going to carry more. And Weiss will tag, and here comes the throw. It's way off line. He was faking and did not come in. I thought it was going to carry a lot further than that. It just died.
Well, if that's a one-run game, Don Zimmer's going to send Walt Weiss. But when you're down by 7, you just can't take any chances. You don't have the foresight to know that that throw is going to be that far off line. And you don't have the perfect perspective from third base anyway. Howard hit that out towards the end of the bat. Langford, a pretty decent arm, and as shallow as that ball is, Zim just can't take a chance.
So now we have 2 away. Walt Weiss still at third, and the hitter is Dante Bichette. Dante is 1 for 4 in the ballgame, and that is the bunt single, and he's 1 for 9 in the series, and that's been it so far. And this one is bounced over Walt Weiss's head, and Walt was ducking as the bullpen comes up with a souvenir, and perhaps we'll toss it into the waiting arms of a Cardinal fan. 0-1 the count to Bichette. Cardinals won last night 9-7, lead here 11-4. And he misses. Let's update some scores in from the West Coast.
Phillies Dodgers. David West is pitching for the Phillies. He's done quite a job coming out of the bullpen. Dodgers, Mets pounding on the Pods. Everybody beats the Pods except the Rockies.
And here's a fly ball right field, and Whitten is there, and that is the ball game. 11 runs on 17 hits for St. Louis. The Rockies have 4 runs on 9. And the Cardinals take the first 2 of the 4 games here at Busch Stadium in the heat of St. Louis. And we'll be back in just a moment.
I'm bored. Let's count the palm trees again. Why are you looking at me like that, Iggy? You okay?
Cut it out. You're weirding me, man.
Stop looking at me like that, would ya?
You're creeping me out. Cut that out, man.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Iggy, you're gonna twist my head off. Iggy.
The people who build Dodge Ram have a saying, think big. After all, just check out Ram's big list of features, like a driver's side airbag, rear anti-lock brakes, tinted glass, and more. Plus, Ram's big on power, thanks to a 175 horsepower Magnum V6. Fortunately, the people who sell Dodge Ram also have a saying, think small. Check out Motor Trend's 94 Truck of the Year at your Dodge dealer today.
I believe the hand is quicker than the eye. I believe in natural grass. I believe in the school of hard knocks. I believe you get out what you put in.
With 33% more carbohydrates and less sodium than the leading sports drink, Powerade is the thirst quencher of the Rockies.
I believe in high altitudes and Powerade.
It's the only way to manage a major league thirst.
Once again, the Cardinals defeat the Rockies 11-4.
A lot of home runs in this one. Going to take a while to read them all. Greg Jeffries had a pair. Mark Whitten hit his 8th. Charlie Hayes had his 8th. Geronimo Pena, who's been killing the Rockies, hit number 7. Howard Johnson and Ray Langford also homered. Not a park that's very conducive to the home run ball, but they were well struck tonight.
Again, it's that warm evening, and we just decided to forego putting on the jacket for the close. The good news, and we always try and find, you know, the bright spark, or is there one? And it's the fact that there was some rest in the bullpen.
Of course there's always a bright spot. Mike Munoz, who had pitched 8 times in 8 days, didn't stir. Darren Holmes, who was beaten up last night, he needed a night off. Bruce Ruffin will be stronger if the Rockies can get a lead tomorrow. And Steve Reed, who's been wearing an ice bag on the arm because he's been overworked. He didn't have to pitch again tonight. So, you know, Don Baylor knows that in a 162-game season, you do have to lose some battles if you're going to survive and maybe win the overall war and improve on last year's record. I mean, that's the goal of this club this year, and nobody likes to take a beating, but sometimes you have to.
All right, and we'll step aside. We'll be back to St. Louis in just a moment.
In Floyd's Knobs, Indiana, people drive for miles around just to see Don Ballard. Because when it comes to car repair, well, there's not much he can't fix.